From your brain flooding itself with fluid, to fungi farming in your crotch, to your body literally paralyzing you, sleep is not the peaceful shutdown you think it is. This is every weird, leaking, fermenting, borderline disgusting thing your body does while you're unconscious. All in the name of keeping you alive. Dust mite feast. You ever jump into your bed and think, finally, clean sheets, safe space, my sanctuary? That's adorable, because the second you lie down, you start snowing. Not metaphorically. Physically. Your skin isn't a static surface, it's a conveyor belt. New cells are produced at the bottom layer, slowly pushed upward, flattened, hardened, and eventually discarded. By the time they reach the top, they're dead. That final shedding step? It's called desquamation. While you're asleep, your body shifts into repair mode. New skin cells multiply. Old ones detach. Every time you roll over, scratch, stretch, or drag your heel across the sheets, you're releasing a fine dust of yourself. Millions of flakes. Every night. That harmless-looking bedroom dust? A lot of it is you. Now let's introduce the supporting cast. Dust mites, microscopic, 8-legged tenants living deep in your mattress fibers. They don't hunt you, they don't stalk you. They simply wait for the nightly delivery. Their primary food source is dead human skin. Your bed is warm from your body heat, damp from your sweat, dark for hours at a time. It's less bedroom and more climate-controlled feeding facility. And you're the automatic dispenser. The mites themselves aren't the villain here. It's their waste particles that cause trouble. Those fragments can become airborne when you move around, triggering allergies, congestion, even asthma in some people. Which explains why you might wake up stuffy even though you did nothing. You did something. You molted. Every night, your body replaces itself. That's essential. That's healthy. That's survival. It just also means your mattress is quietly built from layers of your former skin. Rest well. Crotch fungus farm. Let's talk about the most aggressively humid place on your body. You go to bed thinking everything just powers down. Peaceful. Quiet. Meanwhile, south of the equator, it's turning into a greenhouse. Your groin is warm. Naturally. It's packed with sweat glands, especially apocrine glands, which release a thicker, protein-rich sweat. Add fabric, add 8 hours of minimal airflow, add body heat trapped under blankets. You've just created a tropical microclimate. Now here's the part most people don't realize. Fungi already live on you. Right now, species like Candida hang out on your skin all the time. Normally, they're controlled by your immune system and balanced by bacteria. But fungi love 3 things: warmth, moisture, and darkness. You supply all 3, every night. If the balance tips, maybe your immune system is stressed, maybe the skin barrier is irritated, maybe you wore tight, non-breathable underwear, those fungi can multiply faster than your body can rein them in. That's how you get things like jock itch, yeast infections. That mysterious itch you pretend isn't happening. And the only thing standing between normal microbiome and itchy regret is your immune system working overtime while you sleep. Your skin isn't dirty. It's ecological. It's a living surface negotiating with trillions of microorganisms. And most of the time, it wins. Sleep gas chamber. Let's discuss the betrayal that happens under the blankets every night. You like to believe you're in control of your body. Mature, restrained, civilized. During the day, you feel pressure building and you handle it like an adult. You clench. You reposition. You wait for a socially acceptable moment. At night, the supervisor clocks out. Inside your large intestine, trillions of bacteria are breaking down carbohydrates your body couldn't digest. Things like beans, onions, fiber. This process is fermentation. And fermentation produces gas. Hydrogen, methane, carbon dioxide. All day, your external anal sphincter, yes, that's the official term, acts as the gatekeeper of your dignity. When you fall asleep, muscle tone decreases across your body, including there. The internal sphincter relaxes. The external one loses voluntary oversight. Not fully open, just less strict. At horizontal positioning, at 8 uninterrupted hours. At blankets trapping airflow. You've created a low ventilation containment system. And here's the part you don't realize. Your sense of smell is dramatically reduced during REM sleep. Your brain decides odor processing isn't a priority. So you can release gas into your immediate environment and remain blissfully unaware. You are safe. Anyone next to you is not. This isn't your body being rebellious. It's pressure regulation. Holding gas in for too long can cause bloating and discomfort. Nighttime is when your system quietly equalizes. Brain power wash. You probably thought that every night when you go to sleep, your brain shuts off and your whole system idle. Wrong. The moment you drop into deep sleep, your brain flips on a full-scale maintenance operation inside your skull, a biological pressure wash. It's called the glymphatic system. Yeah, fancy word. Here's what it actually means. Your brain has a built-in plumbing system that only turns on properly while you're in deep sleep. All day long, your neurons are firing, thinking, scrolling, stressing, replaying that awkward thing you said 3 years ago, and every bit of that activity produces waste, metabolic byproducts and sticky proteins like beta amyloid. If those proteins build up over time, they're linked to cognitive decline and diseases like Alzheimer's. So what does your brain do at night? It shrinks. No, really. Brain cells physically contract by up to 60%, creating extra space between them. That space fills with cerebrospinal fluid, clear liquid that rushes through your brain tissue like a high-pressure hose, sweeping up chemical trash and hauling it away. Imagine your skull turning into a self-cleaning car wash. The brushes are fluid. The grime is toxic protein sludge, and you're unconscious while it happens. Here's the part that should make you slightly uncomfortable. If you don't sleep enough, that wash cycle doesn't finish. The waste lingers. The proteins accumulate. Your thinking slows. That groggy, foggy, where are my keys feeling. That's not just being tired. That's leftover brain garbage. You are walking around with yesterday's neurological trash still sitting between your neurons. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's neurological sanitation. Chemical sleep paralysis. Let's talk about the nightly hostage situation. When you enter REM sleep, the stage where dreams get cinematic and weird, your brain becomes wildly active. Emotion centers light up, visual areas fire. Your mind can be sprinting, fighting, falling, flying. But your body? Locked. During REM, your brainstem releases inhibitory neurotransmitters, mainly GABA and glycine, that shut down your spinal motor neurons. In plain English, your brain chemically blocks your muscles from moving. You are paralyzed, completely still. On purpose. This is called REM atonia. Atonia just means loss of muscle tone. It's not a glitch, it's a safety protocol. Because think about your dreams. If your body actually obeyed them, you'd be running into walls, throwing punches at lamps, diving off the mattress because you thought you were Superman. So your brain installs a temporary kill switch. Breathing? Still works. Eyes? Darting around like crazy. Everything else? Offline. Here's where it gets unsettling. Sometimes you wake up before the paralysis shuts off. Your eyes open. You're aware. You try to move. Nothing happens. Your chest feels heavy because your breathing is still on autopilot. Your panic system kicks in, and because you're still partially in REM, your brain can project dream imagery into the room. That's sleep paralysis. Not demons, not supernatural nonsense, just your brain mistiming the unlock sequence. Mucus cocktail. You probably think your nose clocks out at night. Absolutely not. Your sinuses are 24/7 production facilities. All day long, they manufacture mucus, up to a quart of it every 24 hours. That slime isn't random. It's sticky on purpose. It traps dust, bacteria, pollen, anything that tries to hitch a ride into your lungs. During the day, this system runs smoothly. You're upright. You swallow constantly without noticing. Gravity helps drain things forward. But then you lie down. Now gravity changes sides. Instead of draining out, mucus starts pooling and sliding toward the back of your throat. This is called post-nasal drip, and you swallow it. Over and over. You don't wake up choking because your body reroutes the whole mixture into your stomach, where acid destroys the trapped microbes. Your digestive system becomes a waste incinerator for your sinus leftovers. That thick lump you sometimes feel in the morning? That need to clear your throat before speaking? That slightly raspy first sentence? That's last night's mucus making a curtain call. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If this system didn't run constantly, you'd be inhaling pathogens straight into your lungs. Infections would spike. Inflammation would explode. So yes, every night, while you dream, your body manufactures a slow dripping cocktail of slime and debris and makes you drink it. Disgusting? Absolutely. But it's the reason you're not waking up with pneumonia. Genital leakage. Let's just rip the bandage off. You assume everything down there powers down at night? Nope. Your genitals run their own overnight test cycle. If you're male, you experience multiple erections during REM sleep, typically 3 to 5 per night. This is called nocturnal penile tumescence. Sounds clinical. It just means your body is pressure testing the plumbing while you're unconscious. These erections aren't about dreams, they're neurological. During REM, certain brain pathways activate while inhibitory signals shift. Blood flow increases. Smooth muscle relaxes. The system inflates. It's maintenance. Oxygen-rich blood keeps tissue healthy. Think of it like your body running diagnostics to make sure everything still works. If you're female, something similar happens. Blood flow increases to genital tissues. Vaginal lubrication can occur during REM. The tissue becomes engorged and more sensitive. Again, not about desire, not about fantasy. It's circulation. It's tissue health. It's nerve function staying online. And yes, sometimes that lubrication or pre-ejaculate fluid doesn't just politely evaporate. It transfers onto fabric, into underwear, onto sheets. You wake up slightly damp and pretend not to think about it. Your body doesn't care about modesty, it cares about function. Here's why this matters. Consistent nocturnal arousal is actually a sign of healthy nerve pathways and vascular integrity. Doctors even use it to distinguish between psychological and physiological causes of erectile dysfunction. Armpit fermentation. You assumed body odor is a daytime problem. Gym, stress, summer heat. And that's when things get humid. But here's the twist. Some of your most enthusiastic bacterial activity happens while you're peacefully unconscious. Your armpits contain apocrine sweat glands. These aren't the cool-you-down glands. Those are eccrine glands. Apocrine glands produce a thicker, protein-rich fluid. It's odorless when it comes out. That's important, because the smell, that's not you. That's bacteria. Your underarms are home to entire communities of microbes, the species like Corynebacterium, that feed on proteins and lipids in apocrine sweat. When they break those compounds down, they release volatile molecules, sulfur-containing compounds, fatty acids. Translation: sharp, sour, onion-adjacent. Now imagine this happening under a blanket. Warm, dark, slightly humid, minimal airflow. You're not moving much, sweat accumulates slowly. Fabric traps moisture, close to the skin. Bacteria get a steady supply of nutrients and a stable environment. It's not just sweating, it's fermentation. While you dream about normal, socially acceptable things, microbial populations in your armpits are metabolizing your secretions and producing byproducts like they're running a tiny biochemical brewery. And because your sense of smell decreases during certain sleep stages, you won't even notice it happening. Morning comes. You stretch. You lift an arm. There it is. Your body wasn't being gross on purpose. It was regulating temperature, releasing stress hormones, and maintaining skin function. Tongue bacteria. Carpet. Let's talk about your mouth. You brush, you floss, maybe. You rinse. You go to bed feeling reasonably civilized. 8 hours later, your breath smells like something expired in a forgotten lunchbox. What happened? Your mouth never shuts down. It just changes management. During the day, you're constantly swallowing. Saliva flows steadily, washing away food particles and sweeping bacteria toward your stomach. It's like a gentle rinse cycle running on repeat. At night, saliva production drops. Hard. Your swallowing reflex slows. Your jaw relaxes. If you breathe through your mouth, things dry out even more. And without that constant flow of saliva, bacteria get to settle in. Your tongue, especially the back of it, is not smooth. It's covered in tiny projections called papillae. They create grooves and crevices, perfect hiding spots. So overnight, bacteria accumulate. They feed on leftover proteins in your mouth. They break them down into sulfur compounds. Those compounds are responsible for that unmistakable morning breath. It's not random, it's chemistry. Think of your tongue as a plush carpet, soft, textured, absorbent. Now imagine trillions of microbes setting up shop inside the fibers, digesting microscopic debris for 8 uninterrupted hours. That white coating you sometimes see in the morning? That's a mix of bacteria, dead cells, and trapped particles that built up while saliva flow was reduced. And here's the kicker. This slowdown in saliva isn't a design flaw. It conserves fluid. It helps your body maintain overall hydration while you sleep. Your body prioritized water balance. Your tongue paid the social price. Protective, drooling. Let's address the wet spot. You wake up. Your cheek is stuck to the pillow. There's a cold patch beneath your face. You assume you just drooled because you're a heavy sleeper. Partly true. But there's more going on. During the day, you swallow constantly without thinking about it. Saliva is always being produced, up to a liter a day. And your brain keeps the conveyor belt moving. Swallow, reset, swallow, reset. At night, that system powers down. Saliva production decreases, but it doesn't stop. Your swallowing reflex slows. Your jaw relaxes. If you're sleeping on your side or stomach, gravity does the rest. The fluid takes the easiest exit, out. Now here's why that saliva exists in the first place. It's loaded with enzymes like amylase and antimicrobial proteins like lysozyme. It keeps your mouth tissues from drying out. It limits bacterial overgrowth. It protects enamel from acid damage. Without it, your gums would crack. Your throat would dry and become more infection-prone. Your oral bacteria would spiral even harder. So when your brain loosens control and lets saliva pool and spill, it's not incompetence. It's muscle relaxation during deep sleep. And drooling often means you actually reach deeper sleep stages, the kind associated with memory consolidation and physical repair, which means that embarrassing damp pillow. You didn't slobber like a child. You entered deep, restorative sleep and forgot to close the valve. Scalp stew. You go to bed with clean hair. You wake up looking like you dipped your head in fryer oil. Now what happened? Your scalp never stops working. It's loaded with sebaceous glands, tiny oil factories attached to your hair follicles. Their job is to produce sebum, an oily substance that waterproofs your skin and keeps hair flexible so it doesn't snap like dry straw. And guess what? Sebum production doesn't clock out at midnight. While you sleep, your body, temperature shifts and blood flow to the skin increases. Your scalp warms slightly. That warmth helps spread sebum along the hair shaft. Functional? Yes. But now add friction from your pillowcase. Add trapped heat. Add hours of limited evaporation. Add sweat mixing in. You've just slow-cooked your own head. Your scalp is also home to yeast species like Malassezia. Completely normal. They feed on sebum, break it down, produce byproducts, usually harmless. But when oil production ramps up or isn't washed away regularly, that breakdown process can irritate the skin. Cue itchiness. Flaking. Sebum forms part of your hydrolipid barrier, a protective film that blocks pathogens and prevents water loss. Strip it away too aggressively and your scalp compensates by producing more the next night. So yes, you wake up looking slightly unhinged, hair flattened, roots shiny, pillow faintly fragrant. But your scalp wasn't being dramatic. It was preserving flexibility, preventing dryness, and feeding its resident microbes just enough to keep the ecosystem stable. Earwax conveyor. Finally, let's talk about the substance you pretend doesn't exist until it shows up on a cotton swab. Earwax. You think it's just dirt, buildup, something you should probably clean more. Wrong. Earwax, officially called cerumen, is manufactured on purpose. Glands in your ear canal produce a mix of secretions: fatty acids, alcohols, squalene, and shed skin cells. It's sticky, slightly acidic, antimicrobial. Translation, it's defensive glue. All day long, dust, debris, and tiny particles try to drift into your ear canal. Earwax traps them. It prevents insects from going too far in. It inhibits bacterial and fungal growth. But here's the part you don't notice. Your ear canal has a built-in conveyor belt. The skin lining the canal slowly migrates outward over time. As it moves, it carries earwax with it. Jaw movements, chewing, talking, grinding your teeth in your sleep help push the wax toward the exit. While you're unconscious, your ears are quietly self-cleaning. Old wax dries. It flakes. It shifts outward. By morning, it's closer to the edge than it was the night before. That crusty bit you sometimes find, that's not random. That's a completed transport cycle. And if you aggressively shove cotton swabs deep into your ear, you interrupt the system. You compact wax backward, you block the exit ramp your body designed. You don't need to dig. Your ears are already moving the trash to the curb. Every night, while you sweat, shed, drool, leak, ferment, and inflate, your body is also quietly protecting one of your most delicate sensory systems. It's not glamorous, it's not Instagram friendly. But you survived another night of flushing, filtering, locking down, and secreting fluids just to stay alive. And if this hits a little too close to home, don't worry. The next video on the channel picks up right where this leaves off.